You play for some big clubs, big derbies, you've won trophies in Scotland, you scored loads of goals, but I'd say probably your biggest victory was obviously beating cancer in 2009. I mean, I don't want to touch too much on it, but
not
I mean,
at all. It's part of me. It's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, talk us through it and tell us a bit about your foundation that you set up as well.
Well, my foundation now, the John Hartson Foundation, has just gone over, and we've actually donated just over £300,000 that we've raised. And when I left hospital in 2009, after all my two brain operations and my chemotherapy, I just felt that somebody had just saved my life, you know. Somebody had given me the care and the attention and the treatment and the medicine that has saved my life, because I was a dead man.
Yeah.
I was dead. I was a dead man on the slab. I was gone. You don't come back from testicular cancer that spreads to your lungs and onto your brain. You just don't come back from that. But for whatever reason I did, and I owe a great debt to the big fella up there. Maybe it wasn't my time. And I had a lot of luck. People can say you're strong, you're a fighter, but cancer's taken twice as big a men than me in its time. And a lot more men that are a lot more positive than me. So you can say be positive, blah, 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 but you need luck. And I got that slice of luck. And I'm eternally grateful, very, very respectful of the fact that I was able to come through. I know I had a lot of luck, and a lot of people don't come through. You know, cancer's not a flu or a bug or a disease. Cancer kills people. Cancer takes good people away from us every single day of our lives, cancer. It turns people's lives upside down, families. And I feel very blessed to have been given the opportunity to see my children grow up and to be part of their lives. And to have done that, it outweighs everything I ever did in football. It doesn't even compare. There is no issue in terms of coming through a life-changing period where today I am a totally different person to what I was before my cancer. I appreciate time with my kids. I love my wife. She's my rock. She was there every single day of my life. And I've had everything else. I've had the Bentleys, I've had the mansions, I've had the suits, I've had money, and it's all totally irrelevant to your health. Your health is number one. You can't do nothing without it. And I feel very lucky and grateful that I was able to come through. And as I said earlier on, I've set up the charity. We do 3 big events every year. We walk up Ben Nevis, which is the biggest mountain in Britain. We do a ball coming up now on October the 17th. We raised £117,000 at our charity ball last year. And we have a golf day every year. They are our 3 big events where all the guys I played with, the likes of Reids and Shearer and Ian Dowie's come several times. They all come and support my golf day. They all give us a few shirts, and we auction a few things off to raise money for charity. And I'm very, very proud of it and what we do. We're just making a difference. And we're helping people that are a little bit less fortunate, you know. So I'm extremely proud of the John Hartson Foundation.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, we'll put all the links on our video and our
thank you,
website
Ryan.
as well.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate
but,
that.
No, it's good to talk to you about that, mate. Great to see you
no
so
problem.
fit
And
and
as I
healthy,
said,
mate.
I feel very blessed.
Yeah, I think we all
it's
feel the
left
same.
me a few
right?
scars, but the wife doesn't mind a few scars. That's all right.
I mean, just quickly moving on to West Ham this season.
Yeah.
Obviously, Slaven Bilic and Julian Dix running the. I mean, what's your thoughts on West Ham this season?
Well, I was linked a little bit with a role at West Ham. I'd received a phone call through my representatives. Would you like to do it? There's an opportunity there. But they had to run it by Slaven. And I thought, well, the travelling from Swansea, the deal was 3 days a week, like Teddy was doing, and Saturdays. But obviously, because I work with the BBC, I've got 5 children, and I live in Swansea, so it might have been difficult. What I would have said to them was, make it full time, and then I'll come closer to the area, and I'll move and I'll commit to it. But we never quite got over the line anyway. It was never agreed, it was never offered, but it was spoken about, and a lot of West Ham fans on Twitter were desperate for me to comment and things.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, because I didn't really know where it was going. So I didn't want to stir things up and get people's hopes up or down or whatever. So there was a little opportunity, there was a little window there. I think one of the owners quite wanted to do it, without mentioning any names. And it was all down to Slaven, because he's the manager that they were bringing in, and he was the one that had the right, and rightly so, correctly so, to pick his staff. And obviously, whether it was ever run by him or not, or whether it was, and he didn't want to go there, then absolutely fine. You know, I've got a 2-year contract with the BBC, and I've got my children, and I'm over in Dublin doing Satanta. I do a bit of BT Sport, a bit of Sports Breakfast. So I'm really busy. And I'm not too sure under them circumstances whether I could have done it anyway. I don't think logistically with the travelling, it would have really worked. But what I would have done if it had was gone for plan B. Asked them, could they just up the readies a little bit?
Yeah.
And I'll become full-time, because then I could move up.
It would have been great to see you there.
Yeah, it would have been
I can
fantastic.
imagine you, Dixie and Slab on
Yeah,
the
so
touch like that.
I just wanted to put the record straight, obviously, to the fans, that there was a little inquiry, but it never really got any further than that.
I mean, what do you make of the new signings we've made? Obviously, transfer window's just shut.
Yeah.
What do you make of the signings West Ham have made?
I think Victor Moses needs to, he's looking for a club to really settle for 2 or 3 years. I think at Stoke, he was in and out a little bit, playing some games, doing well. I think West Ham may give him the platform, you know, to be a player there for many years. You look at Jelovic, Croatian, Rangers, Hull, good goal scorer, Everton, goal scorer, good signing. I think West Ham have the potential, for me. Somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, can they finish top 6? They'll need to put a great, consistent run together to do that. Are they capable? Absolutely. With the team, Slaven's new ideas, absolutely they're capable. Do I think they'll do it? Probably no. And that's not without sounding disrespectful or disappointing anybody. I don't want to put any extra pressure on Slaven and Dixie that they've got to finish top 6 because they've spent this, done that, like a lot of people might say. But are they capable? Yes. They need to get the consistency right at home. West Ham have always been a terrific home side.
Yeah.
And poor away from home. Harry Redknapp always used to say, West Ham, even from the 60s, have always been a soft touch on the road. Knocked out the cups on the road. Soft touch. When I was there, we lost to Northampton away, Swansea away. And they were the words Harry used to say. We always did it. In the days of Bobby Moore and Jeff Hurst, we'd be a soft touch on the road at times. And we thought we were going places and needed to go that one more. And they've always been a great home side. That was a terrific atmosphere at the Bowling. And beat anybody under the lights.
It's sort of reversed this season, isn't it? We're winning
can't
away
win
at the
home.
Emirates and
That's
Anfield.
right.
We can't win at home.
The Leicester and the Bournemouth results were poor results at home. And then obviously you go to Arsenal on the opening game, nobody gave you a chance. That would have killed so many cookies.
Oh, we know about that.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
performed fantastically well. Went to Liverpool. Again, Liverpool played so well against Arsenal 4 days before that. Should have beat Arsenal at the Emirates. They played Benteke and the goalkeeper checks with 2 unbelievable saves. And then you turn Liverpool over 3-0. It's just like nobody can quite put their finger on it. But what you do know is that when you turn up and when you're at it, you can beat Arsenal, you can beat Liverpool. You know, 2 potential top 4 teams, potentially. Liverpool probably 5th. I think Arsenal might get in the top 4, in my opinion. But that's what you do know. And Slaven will be scratching his head, saying to the players, we have got to be at this level of consistency and performance if we're going to get into the top 6. Now, as I said, I think you're capable, but you know, I just think maybe the inconsistency side of it.
So do you think realistically we could finish top 10 if
100%
got the
top 10? Yeah, 100%. I think below 10 would be a disappointment.
It's an emotional season for us at
It
West
is.
Ham last year at the Bowling Ground. I mean, What was your favourite memory at the bowling ground? Would you say the Spurs game?
Well, under
4-3?
the lights, I think, you know, because we genuinely thought at West Ham, at home, that little bit of dew on the ground, them little sort of lights on you, it was like a theatre, you know, and with the crowd and everything, and the atmosphere that it generated. Remember now, I'm going back. This was before the pitch was extended and the ground, the main stand was taken back. It was really, the crowd were like from you and I away.
Yeah.
It was right close to you, which created that atmosphere. And we genuinely feel, you know, teams used to be frightened to death coming to Upton Park, you know, because the noise the crowd made and the way we played, you know, the way we just got after teams and took the lead. They couldn't quite recover from that. So all the games I played under the lights at Upton Park, it was always a sense of we fancied ourselves. Nobody really outplayed us. It might have been beat once or twice, but I just think they played great football at home and a pleasing brand of football that obviously pleases the crowd, because I think the crowd want to play good football.
Are you going to try to get to the bowling this season to see a game?
Yeah, I'll probably be there for the radio for 5 Live at some stage, you know, BBC. I was there a couple of times last year, you know, so I'll hopefully get back for a few games. I always get a nice reception when I go back. So I'll be looking forward to it if I do again this year.
What do you make of the move to the Olympic Stadium? Do you think it's a good thing for West Ham?
I do in the long term. I'll tell you why, because all the clubs are doing it now. You know, you look at Highbury, you know, 38,000, now they play in front of 60,000. I think the Olympic Stadium is going to be, what, 46, I believe, something like that. But everybody is upgrading, aren't they? Most of the clubs are upgrading now. And the grounds are getting bigger and they're getting more modern. And I think, you know, the corporate hospitality as well will be fantastic in the new stadium. I genuinely think, you know, they'll fill it. No doubt they'll fill it. No question, West Ham fans will fill 46,000. They're getting 35 now and they're crying out for more tickets in some games. So I think it'll be a good thing. I think West Ham should embrace it. It's never easy when you've got to leave your home after 100 years or whatever it is. I don't know the amount of years they've been there. So many historic players. You know, you go back to the 4 or 5 great players you had in the 66 World Cup. I don't even have to name them. And prior to them as well, the great players, you know, the Ray Stewarts, the Alan Devonshires, the Tony Parkses, the Cotteys, the McAvenis, all these wonderful players you've had over the years, the Julian Dixes. You've had some wonderful players, but it's a new era for West Ham. You know, 2016, you will be in the Premier League, no doubts about that. You'll be playing at the highest level, and I think it'll be a great thing. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
People might disagree and think, well, we love the bowling, but hey, you got to move with the times, you know. And I think that's what the current board
It's
are trying to do.
exciting times for West Ham fans.
I
That's
think
what
it
we
is.
feel.
Yeah, I think it is.
As much as we're going to miss the bowling ground and history.
Yeah, you'll be down there, and you know, when you start winning games, and the atmosphere will soon, you know, you create that atmosphere that you already do.
We sent a tweet out and put on Facebook that we was meeting you tonight.
Yeah.
And we got people to send in some questions. And
Good.
imagine we got loads. So
Did you really?
I'm going to try to go through some.
Go on, and we'll
now
go
that we
through 3 or
haven't.
4. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
probably waiting for me in there, but we'll crack on.
I think we've covered most of them, really.
Yeah.
I mean, one is about Andy Kerr has put the best manager you played under, and it was sort of 2 questions, the Colin Calderwood incident at Spurs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think what happened with the Colin Calderwood incident, firstly, was I think we were playing Spurs away at White Hart Lane, and Harry got into a bit of a heated exchange with Colin Calderwood. And I went over, and I think I saw them both come together, and Colin Calderwood was like, you know, 30 years younger than Harry, and I just thought, you know, I'll stick up for my boss here.
I think I remember
And
you lifting him off the
Yeah,
ground.
I just sort of overtowered him. I was a lot bigger and stronger than him, and I just sort of shoved him away like a rag doll, really. And I think Harry went in the papers later on. I said, oh, Big John's my minder and all that, you know. But he made a lot of headlines. Big John Hartson is my minder or something. Harry just tongue-in-cheek. But I remember that one quite vividly, really. I think we might have lost that game, if I'm not mistaken. And the best manager for me personally was, I would say, Martin O'Neill, because he paid £6 million for me after me failing 4 medicals, and he believed in me. and he was the man who took a chance on me. I played over 200 games for Celtic, scored over 100 goals, played in the Champions League up there, won trophies, scored plenty of goals against Rangers. So I could say George Graham, Arsene Wenger, Harry Redknapp, Mark Hughes, John Toshak, Gordon Strachan. I played with under some fantastic managers. But I'd say the one that supported me and backed me was Martin O'Neill, who's doing great now at Republic of Ireland. They've just had 2 great results.
I mean, obviously, you've got to get on, John, so we'll leave it there. But just final thing, how would you like the West Ham fans to remember you? You know? Just
somebody who gave his all on the pitch, really. Somebody who was young, was quite boisterous, but always went out there to win. I was a good character. And as I said, I gave everything for West Ham. You know, I really, really did. For the 18 months that I was there, you look at my goals per games. I apologise, obviously. I upset a lot of fans with the Berkovic incident. We've gone over that. You know, I'm sorry that happened, because I could have gone on to score 100 goals for West Ham if that didn't happen. You know, who knows what I could have achieved there if I hadn't have decided to go on to Wimbledon. But I think ultimately the good thing was as well, I wasn't a flop there. They paid £3.2 million for me. They doubled their money. So they made a lot of money on me as well. But just somebody who enjoyed his time at West Ham, really. And I'd like to thank the supporters for all the great days they gave me.
Well, I think I'll speak on behalf of every West Ham fan, John. It was an honour to have you in the shirt.
Thank you.
We loved you on the pitch. And
I may well be back one day as a coaching role.
No,
you never know.
You are, mate.
Never know. Stranger things have happened, you know.
But John, thank you so much for
Pleasure,
your time
Ryan.
tonight, mate.
All the best to you, mate. And good luck to West Ham this season. All the best.
Thank you, mate.
Pleasure.
That's John Hartson. I'm Ryan at West Ham Fan TV. Come on, you Irons.